Jacob Taylor is the first Mass Effect 2 squadmate to rank. Now I'm sure there won't be much debate on this one, so why don't we all answer simultaneously?
F tier. Yep, quick and easy.
Just what was BioWare thinking with this character? He's not even good in gameplay either. Pull, incendiary ammo, and barrier. The dude is just a weaker grunt.
They took the worst qualities of Kaidan and the worst qualities of Garrus and mashed them into one character. He even cheats on female Shepard.
Donald, you're the last person who should be criticizing another man for cheating on their partner.
Excuse you?
Barry cooked you, Don. Just take the L and move on.
Next up, we have the beautiful and perfect Miranda Lawson. Don't tell Michelle I said this, but Miranda is my Mass Effect waifu. She's an easy A tier, maybe S tier.
I always knew you were a man of refined taste, Barack. Not only is Ms. Lawson an 11 out of 10, she's another humanity-first woman who puts her extraordinary mind to put humanity above those damn aliens.
Donald, how can you simp for Liara and Tali and be so anti-alien?
I'm but a simple man, Sleepy Joe. I might be pro-human, but even I cannot deny the many benefits that the galaxy has to offer. But I don't expect such a pro-alien goody-good like you to understand such complexities.
Okay, but seriously, besides being pretty and perfect, what does she have going for her besides that? Sure, she has a little bit of development going from an Ice Queen to being a lot nicer to Shepard, but it's nothing special. Fellas, hello, did I disconnect again?
Okay, look, Joe, the creator of these videos is a Miranda simp and will not let us put her in B tier, even though that's probably where she belongs.
What do you mean, Barack? What creator?
Oh, shit, he doesn't know.
Don't mind it, Joe. We're just going to put Miranda in A tier and move on.
All right, then.
Moving on to Dr. Mordin Solus, I think he's a great and complex character with a character arc right up there with Rex's. I can confidently say he's an S tier character.
Damn right, Barack. Mordin's growth from always defending his genophage modification to seeing the wrong in it is everything a character like Ashley is missing. Mordin makes the ultimate sacrifice to right his wrongs, and I'll never forget bawling my eyes out at his death during Priority Tuchanka.
And despite being a nerdy Solarian, Mordin shows he has got a quad down there when he stands up to Rex and refuses to sabotage the genophage cure.
Are we actually all in agreement here?
Seems that way.
All right, Mordin goes into S tier and we move on to Grunt.
That's my son.
The appeal of Grunt is helping him find a place among his Krogan people and helping him evolve from a killing machine into a principled warrior. I don't think Grunt is enjoyable or complex enough to be in the upper tiers, but I can see him in B.
That seems reasonable to me. Grunt is excellent, but he's a more basic character.
Don't worry, Grunt. You're Papa Trump's S-tier warrior no matter what those two pie jacks say.
Next, we've got the Psychotic biotic Jack.
She has a man's name, she's bald, and she's built like a twig.
Donnie, you fat fucking orange, you're built like a pumpkin, and you have the same color tone as one. Don't you ever disrespect Jack in front of me again, or I'll shove my collector rifle so far down your gullet that it'll make what Gavin Archer did to his brother David look like a fun afternoon at Silver Sun Strip.
Those were a lot of words for you to string together. It sounded like you got tired at the end there, Sleepy Joe.
Gentlemen, focus. Jack's selling point is her romance more than anything else. Jack has serious trust issues because almost everyone she's ever been with has used her for her power, except for one guy who was serious about settling down with her, but he gave himself up to save Jack. In the romance, you slowly get Jack to trust and believe in you, and you find that deep inside, she's a real softie who will do anything to protect the people she loves.
I thought Miranda was your type. Why do you know so much about Jack's romance?
I am a seasoned player, Donald. I've explored all romances at least once, even Jacob's.
Gross.
Anyway, Jack is an A-tier character. Her romance carries her, but outside of it, most of her development happens off-screen, keeping her out of S-tier.
No argument from me.
Sure, put the weird girl in A-tier.
All right, now we have Thane. Where do we want him, gentlemen?
Get that weak sauce frog boy off my screen before I catch that disease he died from.
I'm surprised you don't deny the existence of Keprel syndrome, Donnie.
Weak sauce? Thane is arguably the best fighter among all the squad mates.
Frog boy lost to a dollar store Nightwing that just had a sword. Imagine losing to a weeb. Couldn't be Erdnot Rex. Put that overly sensitive toad in C tier where he belongs.
Okay, let's settle down, Don. Thane is a great character, an assassin that decided to spend his final moments doing good in the universe, and his goal to save Kolyat from the darkness of crime is very touching.
Also, his romance is something else. It not only elevated Thane's character, but elevated female Shepard as well, showing that even the hardened soldier can be an emotional pillar for Thane in his dying moments.
Thane isn't even necessary to the story. You don't have to recruit him in Mass Effect 2, and even if you did, he isn't of any use on the suicide mission. Thane exists solely, so the female Mass Effect fanbase has some eye candy.
What is your issue with Thane? Besides being an assassin, he is probably one of the least offensive characters in the game.
Melania keeps going on and on about how she wishes I had a body like Thane.
Skill issue. Thane is going in A tier.
God damn it.
Let's see, next, we have the Asari Justicar Samara.
That's Samami to you, good sir.
Samara is kind of interesting. Her character is set in stone from the moment you meet her, and she doesn't change too much in the good or the bad. The most emotion you see out of her is after you kill Morinth, but that's short-lived.
Her romance, if you can even call it that, is also really disappointing.
I cannot believe I had to wait through 2 entire games and a DLC mission to get a hug from this beautiful tall glass of Asari water. Horrible, just horrible.
I don't dislike Samara, but I can't say I like her all that much either. I think she belongs in C tier.
Yeah, I can't imagine putting her on the same tier as Jack or Grunt.
C tier for cock-blocking me BioWare.
Okay, and if we're doing all of the squad mates, we also have to place Morinth on the list.
Wait, Morinth is a squad mate?
If you have enough morality, you can choose to kill Samara and have Morinth replace her instead.
Why would anyone betray Samami like that?
It's not worth it. Morinth is just Samara under a different name. No one besides Kasumi ever figures out what you did, and Morinth only appears as a Banshee in Mass Effect 3. Morinth is barely a squad mate.
Just put her in F tier with Jacob. Not only is she worthless as a squad mate, but she's also an awful person with 0 redeeming qualities.
F tier on the basis that getting her requires you to betray Samami.
Let's do Legion next. I think this character is fantastic, but they're limited by how little time you spend with them.
Why in actual hell did BioWare wait until the end of Mass Effect 2 to give us the Geth squad mate?
Legion deserve better. They open us up to a greater understanding of the Geth, our enemies from the first game, and in the third game, we get to watch them sacrifice themselves to give all of their people true sentience. Legion's death is almost as heartbreaking as Mordin's, but I feel like we didn't get enough time to know them.
Donald, you're being uncharacteristically quiet.
It's because he's already made up his mind.
Put that piece of scrap metal in F tier.
Dude, no way.
I'll never forgive the Geth for what they did to the Quarian people, and I'll never forgive the Geth for what they did to the 212 Ashley's unit on Eden Prime. The Geth continuously side with the Reapers throughout the games, and Legion itself is in awe of them and refers to them as godlike. I trust those damn machines even less than I trust aliens.
I got a feeling you have a lot in common with Javik.
I'm not surprised you like Legion, Sleepy Joe. You owe your fake win in 2020 to robots, but don't worry, I'll have my own Legion of AI to help me in 2024.
Are you still hung up on 2020?
Gentlemen, this is a Mass Effect discussion. Save that for your own time. The conflict between Geth and Organics is complicated, but that doesn't have anything to do with Legion. As we've said, they had great potential as a character, but didn't get to live up to it because of how late they joined the squad. I think Legion going into B tier is acceptable.
Putting a damn robot next to Grunt insanity. You robot lovers will regret this when the Geth are our enemies for the 4th damn time in the next Mass Effect game.
DLC squad mates for Mass Effect 2 are next. Let's start with Zaid.
The old guy kind of uninteresting. His backstory as a Blue Suns leader is mid, and all he does is just tell boring old man stories like Sleepy Joe.
Donald, you're 4 years younger than me. Wake up to reality. We're both old.
D tier is looking a bit lonely, so why don't we put Zaid there?
Sounds good. D for DLC.
Now we move on to Kasumi. A bit more interesting than Zaid. She has good banter with Shepard.
Why? Why are we not allowed to romance her?
Joe, calm down.
I can't tell you how devastated I was when I found out KG was her boyfriend. It should have been me in that flashback, not him. It's not fair.
Donald, where should we put Kasumi since Joe is crying?
Put her in D tier with the old man. Kasumi had the potential to be entertaining, but being DLC limited what BioWare could do with her.
All right, we've got 3 squad mates left from Mass Effect 3. James Vega is first. What do you think about him, gentlemen?
He's no Rex or Grunt, but I'll give him points for crashing his shuttle into those Cerberus guys on Mars.
James is a much-needed squad mate, considering the dire situation of Mass Effect 3. His comedic nature balances out nicely with Liara's and Garrus's more severe tones. But he's still a guy who wants to take things seriously and do good.
D tier, I can't stand him. His nicknames are lame, his jokes are lame, and the flirting he does with female Shepard is super lame.
I'm surprised, Joe. I'd expect James to be someone you resonated with.
Jill wishes she was able to romance him, and I can't compete with that.
You and Donald are more alike than you realize.
Shut the fuck up, Obama!
All right, James is going in C tier. Any objections?
Okay, whatever. Let's move on.
Let's bring up Javik next. Let me speak my mind on this one. BioWare really tried to sneak this motherfucker in as day 1 DLC and thought no one would notice.
It was unbelievably unbased of BioWare to do this, and it should have been a sign of where the company was going. Javik is a Prothean and extremely relevant to the plot, and they locked him behind DLC. Javik's information was even on the disk. There was no reason for him to be pay-gated.
Unsurprisingly, you both lack a genuine appreciation for sound business sense, locking a plot-relevant squadmate behind payment. Genius. I wish I could shake the hand of the higher-ups at BioWare for such a wonderful idea.
Donald, you can't be serious about this.
Oh, but I am. My only criticism is BioWare locking only Javik behind DLC. Why not other squadmates? Imagine $10 to romance Tally or Garrus, and don't give me that look. I know a bunch of you thirsty-ass alien lovers would cough it up.
No wonder all of your businesses fail.
Okay, setting aside the bullshittery surrounding Javik, he's a semi-interesting character by being a Prothean. He has decent development from seeing everyone as primitives to respecting everyone for fighting the Reapers.
Of all the characters, Javik has the best motivation. The Reapers wiped out his entire species, and now he wants to get it back in blood. He's still kind of one note, though.
I agree, and I think I'll keep with tradition and put him in D tier with the other DLC squadmates.
He might be D tier, but he's an S tier moneymaker.
All right, let's wrap things up here with Edie.
I'm sure Donald is a real big fan of Edie, even though she's a robot.
You underestimate me, Sleepy Joe. Do you think dressing a damn robot like a real doll will sway me from my beliefs? Well, I've got news for you, my dementia-ridden companion. Hummina, 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 bazooing a wooga woof 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 warble 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 warble.
Oh dear Lord, he's still going.
Let's place Edie ourselves and leave.
I think it's fascinating watching Edie actively change her programming to become more human, preferring the lives of the people she cares about over just the self-preservation of the Normandy.
And she's essentially the most blameless squadmate in the game. Edie actively chooses to be a good person, even when faced with prejudice for being synthetic. I'm a big fan of hers, not just for her looks, but for her personality. Perhaps B tier or A tier.
Edie should be B tier. She is outstanding, but she spends all of Mass Effect 2 simply acting as an AI without much personality. The third game is when she shines, but I wouldn't put her in the upper tier based on that.
All right, good talk. Barack, Jill, and I are going to watch Paragon Lost this evening. You and the family in?
I'm down. It's been a while since Michelle and I have seen it.
Donald, we're getting McDonald's to snack on as we watch it if you're in.
Oh, let me cop some nuggets.
All right, see you then, boys.
Peace.
Make sure you get plenty of that honey mustard, Sleepy Joe.
Always.